Sir, good evening, sir. So, this is the last group, and we are going to report about the environmental economics, politics, and ethics. How are economics related to the biosphere? So, if we think about the economic system related to the biosphere, is that it shows one way to think about the economy, and it is also part of the larger social system, which is itself part of the biosphere, and people interact with each other and also with nature. And this slide shows that resources supporting economic system is that economics is part of the production, distribution, and consumption of goods, just like example the market-based systems interact through sellers and buyers. So example, the sellers and the buyer, they are going to have a supply and demand determines prices, or just like in the market, they are going to ask about the market prices. Number one is the natural capital. So natural capital is the world's stocks of natural resources, which includes the geology, soils, air, water, and all living organisms. Number two is the human capital or the human resources. Let's start by the understanding human capital on its own. So human capital is a measure of your skills and knowledge. Three is the manufactured capital or the manufactured resources. Manufactured capital comprises material goods or fixed assets which contribute to the contribution of the production process rather than being the output itself. Just example, the tools, machines, and buildings. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, from the natural capital, manufactured capital, human capital, and the goods and the services. And this slide shows that high waste economy, from the high quality energy to the low quality energy, and then from the high quality matter down to the waste and pollution. So this one is for the inputs from the environment. So the system is from the throughout, and the outputs is into environmental. The economic importance of natural resources. Neoclassical economists and the ecological economists are compared. In ecological economists, there are two kinds of capital. It is a natural and man-made. The external cost from the market price leaves out environmental and health costs associated with its production. So this is what we call the external cost or the hidden cost from the market. It also hinders development of green goods and services and foster waste and environmental degradation, can promote pollution. Gross domestic product or the GDP does not measure environmental degradation or the green indicators, while the genuine progress indicator or the GPI can monitor environmental well-being. So we can see the genuine progress indicators. From the genuine progress indicators equals to benefits not included in market transactions, and that is the positive outcome, and then the negative outcome is the harmful environmental and social cost. This graph shows the per capita gross domestic product from the 1950s to 2000. So we can see the dollars per person from the 1996 up to 2000.
Next include harmful environmental costs in prices of goods and services. Environmentally honest market system, not widely used. Wasteful or harmful producers would go out of business. Difficult to estimate environmental costs. Most consumers do not connect environmental costs with purchases. Government action needed. Reward environmentally sustainable business. Encourage shifts. Phase out harmful subsidies and tax breaks. Phase and environmental beneficial subsidies. Harmful subsidies cost of $2 trillion per year globally. Trade-offs, environmental taxes and fees. has its own advantage and disadvantages. Its advantages are help bring about full cost pricing, encourage businesses to develop environmentally beneficial technologies and goods to save money, easily administered by existing tax agencies, fairly easy to detect cheaters. Disadvantages: low-income groups are penalized unless safety nets are provided. Hard to determine optimal level for taxes and fees. Governments may use money as a general revenue instead of improving environmental quality and reducing taxes on income, payroll, and profits. Tax pollution and waste. Green taxes discourage pollution and waste. Current tax system discourages jobs and profit-driven innovation, encourages pollution, resource waste, and degradation. Tax shifts towards green taxes needed. Encouraging innovations has its regulation, lost command and control, incentive-based regulations. European experience positive for innovation-friendly regulations. Use of marketplace. Incentive-based model. Government caps on total pollution levels. Its tradable pollution and resource use permits. Shown to reduce pollution. Tradable environmental permits has disadvantages and advantages. Advantages of tradable environmental permits are flexible. Next is easy to administer. Third, encourage pollution prevention and waste reduction. Fourth would be permit process determined by market transactions. Lastly, confront ethical problem of how much pollution or resource waste is acceptable. Disadvantages: big polluters and resource wasters can buy their way out, may not reduce pollution at dirtiest plants. Third, can exclude small companies from buying permits. Fourth, caps can be too high and not regularly reduced to promote progress. And last, self-monitoring of emissions can promote cheating. Selling services instead of things. Shift from material flow economy to service flow economy. Make more money by eco-leasing. Eco-leasing examples are Xerox and Courier. Individuals matter, according to Ray Anderson, inspired by Hawkins' The Ecology of Commerce. His interface tile company reduced solid waste up to 75%, reduced gas emission 82%, lowered energy consumption 27%, electricity from renewable sources 88%, saved up to 393 million. Reducing poverty helps the environment. Poverty, harmful health and environmental effects. Reducing poverty benefits individuals, economies, and the environment. Action to reduce poverty. First, combat malnutrition. Second, combat infectious diseases. Third, provide primary school education. Fourth, stabilize population growth. Fifth, reduce national ecological footprints. Sixth, invest in small-scale infrastructure. And the last, encourage small loans to poor people. Millennium Development Goals: reduce poverty, hunger, and improve healthcare. Developed countries are agreed to devote 0.7% of national income. And next, average has only been 0.28%. Here are the expenditures per year needed to reforest the earth, 6 billion, protect tropical forests, 8 billion, restore rangelands, 9 billion, stabilize water tables, 10 billion, deal with global HIV or AIDS, 10 billion, restore fisheries, 13 billion, provide universal primary education and eliminate illiteracy, 14 billion, protect topsoil on cropland, 24 billion, protect biodiversity, 31 billion, provide basic healthcare for all, 33 billion, provide clean drinking water and sewage treatment for all, 37 billion, eliminate hunger and malnutrition, 48 billion, and the total earth restoration and social budget would be 247 billion. It has an inputs or from environments has two kinds, high quality energy and high quality matter. It could be energy conservation and waste and pollution prevention. To the system throughputs, it's a low waste economy. It can control pollution and outputs into environment. It produces low quality energy or heat. Waste and pollution can be recycled and reused and go through low waste economy.
So these are the things that we should do to have environmentally sustainable economy. For economics, you reward or subsidize environmentally sustainable economic development, penalize or tax and do not subsidize environmentally harmful economic growth. Shift taxes from wage and profits to pollution waste. Use full cost pricing. Sell more services instead of more things. Do not deplete or degrade natural capital. Live off income from natural capital. Reduce property. Use environmental indicators to measure progress. Certify sustainable practices and products. Use eco-labels on production. To resource use and pollution. Cut resource use and waste by reducing, reusing, and recycling. Improve energy efficiency. Rely more on renewable solar and geothermal energy. Shift from non-renewable carbon-based or fossil fuel economy to a non-carbon renewable energy economy. To ecology and population, mimic nature, preserve biodiversity, repair ecological damage, stabilize human population, environmentally sustainable business and careers. So, aquaculture, biodiversity protection, biofuels, climate change research, conservation biology, eco-industrial design, ecotourism management, um, the energy efficient product design, environmental chemistry, environmental green design, environmental economics, environmental education, environmental engineering, environmental health, environmental law, environmental nanotechnology, the fuel cell technology, geographic information system or GIS, the geothermal geologies, hydrogen energy, marine science, pollution prevention, the reconciliation ecology, selling services in place of products, solar cell technology, the sustainable agriculture, sustainable forestry, waste reduction, watershed hydrologies, the water conservation, and the last is wind energy. So how can we implement more sustainable and just environmental policies? So concept 17.3. Individuals can work together to become part of political processes that influence how environmental policies are made and implemented. Or individuals matter. This is democracies. Policies, politics, and democracy. Political institution, legislative, the executive, judicial, federal, state, and local governments. So democratic government and environmental problems, complex problems. So um, biodiversity and the climate change. So long-term problems need integrated solutions. Lack of environmental knowledge of political leaders. Principles for environmental policies. The utility principle, reversibility principle, net energy principle, precautionary principle. The next principle for environmental policies number 2. Prevention principle, polluter pays principle, public access and participation principle, environmental justice principle. So, 4 principles of public land use. So number 1, protect biodiversity, wildlife habitat and ecosystems. Number 2, no subsidies or tax breaks to extract natural resources. Number 3, fair compensation for use of property. The fourth is users of resource extractions responsible for environmental damage.
So as you can see in the map, the orange colors represents the national parks and preserves. The green color represents the national forest, and the blue color represents the national wildlife refuge.
Individuals matter. So people create change together or grassroots. So next, politics local at a fundamental level. Be an environmental leader. Lead by example. Work within existing systems. Run for local office. Propose and work for better solutions. What can you do is as an individual? So influencing environmental policy. So become informed on issues. Make your views known at public hearings. Make your views known to elected representatives and understand their positions on environmental issues. Contribute money and time to candidates for office. Vote. Run for office or especially at local level. Form or join non-government organizations or NGOs seeking change. Last, support reform of election campaign financing and reduces undue influence by corporations and wealthy individuals. Non-governmental organizations or NGOs range from grassroots to global organizations, bottom-up changes, citizen-based global sustainability movements. Last is tactics. So let's move on into the importance of environmental security. As important as military and economic security, depletion of natural capital leads to instability.
Major environmental worldview. Major environmental worldview differs over its more important human needs and wants, or the overall health of ecosystem and the biosphere. Different worldview includes very mix of both priorities. Explanation. In short, the environmental worldviews focus humans' needs, ecosystem health, and a balanced outlook influence how people address the environmental concerns. So, planetary management worldview. So, what is planetary management worldview? 1. Human apart from nature. 2. Manage nature to meet our needs and wants. 3. Technology will keep us from running out of resources. 4. Economic growth potentially essentially unlimited. 5. Manage Earth and life for our benefits. So my explanation is the planetary management worldview sees human as a separate from nature and believe we should control nature to meet our needs and desires. It trusts technology to solve resource shortage and assumes endless economic growth is possible. The focus is on managing Earth from human benefits. Stewardship worldview. First, what is stewardship worldview? Number 1. Ethical responsibility to be stewards. 2. Probably won't run out of resources but don't waste them. 3. Encourage environmental beneficial economic growth. 4. Success depends on managing Earth system for our benefits and the rest of nature. So my explanation for that is the stewardship worldview emphasizes our ethical duty to care for the planet. It believes resources are abundant but should be used wisely. Avoiding waste, it support economic growth and stress that human success relies on responsibly managing Earth system to benefits both people and nature. Environmental wisdom worldview. So what is environmental wisdom worldview? 1. We are part of nature. 2. Nature exists for all species. 3. Resources are limited and shouldn't be wasted. 4. Encourage Earth-sustaining economic growth. 5. Success depends on learning about nature and integrating ourselves into nature. So, my explanation of that is, the environmental wisdom worldview sees human as part of nature, not separated from it. It's believed that nature exists for all species. Resources are limited and waste should be avoided. It supports sustainable economic growth and emphasizes learning from and living in harmony with nature. Environmental worldview. So, there are 3 types of environmental worldview. First is planetary management. Second is stewardship. Third is environmental wisdom. So, let's tackle first the planetary management. So, planetary management. We are from the rest of nature and can manage nature to meet our increasing needs and wants. Because of our ingenuity and technology, we will not run out of resources. The potential of economic growth is essentially unlimited. Our success depends on how we will manage the Earth life system, mostly for our benefits. So, let's go to stewardship. Stewardship. We have an ethical responsibility to be caring, manage, or stewards of the Earth. We will probably not run out of resources, but they should not be wasted. We should encourage environmentally benefit form of economic growth and discourage environmentally harmful form. Or our success depends on how we will manage the Earth life support system for our benefits and for the rest of the nature. So, in the environmental wisdom, let's go. Environmental wisdom, we are part of and that totally depends on nature, and nature exists from all species. So, resources are limited and should be not wasted. We should encourage Earth sustaining from of economic growth and discourage Earth degrading forms. Our success depends on learning how the nature sustains itself and integrating such as lesson form nature into the way we think and act. So, how we can live more sustainably. So here, we can live more sustainably by becoming environmentally literate, learning from nature, living more simply and lightly on Earth, and becoming active environmental citizen. Yes, my explanation for that is to live sustainably, we must become environmentally literate, learn from nature, live simply, and be active citizen. Just like said, reducing waste using resources, and the three important ideas. 1. Natural capital matters. 2. Our ecological footprints are immense and are expanding rapidly. 3. Ecological and climate change tipping points are irreversible and should be crossed. My explanation is these three important ideas means that natural capital is crucial for a healthy environment and sustainable life, while human activities consumes resource beyond Earth's regeneration capacity, causing harm to ecosystem, crossing critical threshold in climates and ecosystem can cause permanent damage, emphasizing the importance of prevention. Environmental literacy 1. So, environmental literacy 1. Understanding as much as possible about how Earth works and sustains itself. 2. Use knowledge of Earth and sustainability to guide our lives, communities, and societies. 3. Understand the role of economic and promoting sustainability. So my explanation for that is environmental literacy involves comprehending Earth function and supporting life, making sustainable decisions, and recognize economics influence on sustainable practice for societal and community growth. Environmental literacy 2. 1 is use critical thinking skills to understand and evaluate environmental worldview. So my explanation for that is environmental literacy involves understanding and addressing environmental issues through critical thinking and evaluating different worldview, enabling informed decision making and problem solving. Major components of environmental literacy. Number 1, sustainable forestry. 2, soil conservation. 3, sustainable water use. 4, non-renewable material resources. 5, non-renewable and renewable energy resources. 6, climate change and ozone depletion. 7, population prevention and waste reduction. 8, sustainable cities. 9, environmental sustainable economic and political system. And 10, environmental worldviews and ethics. We can learn from nature. So, kindly a sense of awe, wonder, mystery, and humility. Develop a sense of place. chose to live more simply and sustainably. Ganhai principle of enoughness. Reduce environmental footprints. So, my explanation is, this means that nature teaches us about harmonious living, inspiring awe and humility, and fostering a sense of belonging. It encourages sustainable living guided by Ganhai's principle of enoughness, reducing environmental impact and protecting the planet for future generations. Solutions. Some guidelines for living more sustainable. Learn about, respect, and mimic how nature sustains itself. Do not degrade or deplete the Earth's natural capital. Take no more from nature than what nature can replenish. Do not waste matter and energy resources. Protect biodiversity. Avoid climate change activities. Help maintain the Earth's capacity for itself repair. Repair ecological damage that what we have caused. Leave the world in as good as condition as we found or better. Cultivate a passion for sustaining all life, and let this passion in energize your actions. Avoid the mental traps, gloom and doom, pessimism, blind technology optimism, paralysis by analysis, faith in simple, easy answer. Explanation. To avoid mental traps, focus on realistic solution rather than worst-case scenarios. Avoid blind technological optimism and avoid overthinking. Practice analysis and act on practically. Be cautious or oversimplified solution, and be realistic, proactive, and open-minded. Real problem often requires truthful, balanced approaches. Insulate your house and plug air leaks. Use renewable energy, especially wind and direct solar. Use energy efficient heating and cooling system, lights and appliances. Reduce, reuse and recycle. Use water saving appliances and irrigation methods. Reduce car use. Drive an energy efficient vehicle. Walk, bike, carpool, or take mass transit whenever possible. Don't use pesticide on your garden or lawn. Buy or grow organic food. Buy local grown food. Reduce meat consumption.
So, interrelated components of sustainability revolution: biodiversity protection, commitment to eco-efficiency, energy transformation, pollution prevention, emphasis on sufficiency, demographic equilibrium, economic, political transformation.
So as you can see in the picture, the current emphasis and the sustainability emphasis where pollution cleanup goes into pollution prevention, waste disposal or bury or burn into waste prevention, protecting species into protecting habitat, environmental degradation into environmental restoration, increasing resource use into less resource waste, population growth into population stabilization, depleting and degrading natural capital into protecting natural capital. So as you can see in the picture, there is the environmental concerns, social trends, economic tools, and the technologies. Protecting natural capital, so reducing waste, full cost pricing, and the pollution prevention. Sustaining biodiversity, using less, micro-lending, organic farming. Repairing ecological damage, so living more simply, green subsidies, drip irrigation. Addressing climate change, reusing and recycling, growth of eco-cities and eco-neighborhoods, environmental justice, environmental literacy. So green subsidies, green taxes, net energy analysis. So solar desalinization, energy efficiency, solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, environmental nanotechnology, eco and industrial parks.